The subject of this clip is liturgical books. I'm not using the normal screen share because I want to show you this. I'm using screen share, that comes up very blurry. This is a Microsoft Surface tablet. Okay. This I use when I say Mass. Now I'll get into why very shortly. That screen is detachable. There's a little button there and you actually turn it around. Okay, so that means you can say Mass. You turn around like that and you can say Mass. You've got it on the altar in front of you and you can read it, okay? Now, as I've stated previously, I'm using Zoom software. Okay, I'll share the screen. Okay. It's too early. I recommend Zoom if you're chatting to family or friends from a distance. See here, stop video. Okay, choose virtual background. So you've got a series of pictures that you've stored up there that you've uploaded, like that one, for example. It's a jail cell. No, I'm not there. Where's Mount Carmel? There it is. Okay. Now I'll screen share. If you go to my website, go down to references. It's a lady in Mount Carmel, done in brown. Obviously, I've got a great devotion to her. Oh, where are we? Down, this one down here, the liturgical movement. This is a book put out by Angelus Press, which is an arm of the Society of Pius X. Now this, if you want to understand, I presume that those who watch this attend a Latin Mass. I presume that many of you aren't aware of what went on in the liturgical movement. Why is it that some priests use that book and others that? There's a reference to the Liturgy of Pius X, the Liturgy of 1962. Okay, this book explains it all. All these movements post-Vatican II started way back in the 1800s. Pius X, he consolidated everything. And then Pius XII, using a man by the name of Bernini, I think you're all familiar with that name. He was one of the 9, which included Cardinal Stickler. He would have been a bishop at that time, who sat down, and 6 of those were 6 Protestants who created the Novus Ordo. What a bastardised concoction. Afflicted so many people. I don't want to get riled up on that point. Now, if you want to work out what altar missals are good and what are bad, okay, go back to the home page, go to Liturgy, there's Missale Romanum, the Roman Missal. It's not the Latin Tridentine Mass, it's the Roman Mass. Now there's I've got two missals scanned there. This is the one I use daily, the Carmelite Missale Romanum. A lot of work scanning all these. You may find yourself in the position that you've got the book in your hand. It's about so big by so big, 12 inches by about 8 inches. You want to know if it includes or excludes the changes made by Pius the 12th. Okay. I'll have to download it. But once you download it and you're using PDF, over here, you've got the bookmarks. Try and find Palm Sunday and the blessing of the palms. If you see it's done in a preface, if you see a preface there, you know it's pre the changes of Pius V. Okay. I've got to get my thoughts together now. Father Gregory Hess, he's on YouTube. He's got a lot of clips. He explains this very well. That Archbishop Lefebvre found himself in a position of self-defence. So the missal he chose was the last acceptable form, which was the 1962 missal, brought in by John the 23rd. Okay, now what's the difference between, say, that missal I just downloaded and the missal of 1962? The name of St. Joseph had been inserted in the 1962 missal. Many priests who say the liturgy of Pius X before these changes were made don't mention the name of Joseph in the canon. I do. Okay, now it's a legalistic problem. As far as I'm concerned, our Lord put that name there. Okay, can I take a 1962 missal and say Mass? Okay, now the saints' days could have changed, I say. There's a change of Holy Week. But basically the canon of the Mass is still the same. So yes, I could take a missal of 1962 and say Mass with it, yes. So when people talk about the liturgy of 1962 versus the liturgy of Pius X, It's a few simple changes, but very important ones. Old and sick, I'll probably forget many things. Just there's a lot of work has gone into this. Pontificale Romanum. That's all the ceremonies that a bishop uses. Now this one is particularly good because it's got a lot of notes. I bought it from a publisher in Ireland. Missale Romanum. Okay, now both the Missale Romanum and the Breviarum Romanum, they've got supplements at the back according to the country where the priest is. But not only that, you've got a supplement according to the religious order. Now, both of these have a supplement. It's not, the breviary doesn't have it, but the Missale Romanum, the Franciscan one and the Carmelite one, they each have a supplement, which is Carmelite. Now, there's some beautiful prefaces in the Carmelite one. Specifically refers to Saint Elias as a precursor to the second coming of Christ. Now, how often do you hear that? Now, I started collecting these over 20 years ago. You can't get them now. Hence the value of these scans. Hence the value of a tablet type of implement for use with liturgy. Rituale Romanum, you've seen a priest baptizing, giving a sacrament, that's the book he's using. Liber Usualis, you've seen clerics in choir, singing out of a book, that's that one. Ceremonies of the Roman Rite described, that's all the rubrics of the Latin Mass. There's a clip there on the Roman Catholic Mass, explain the liturgical year by Dom Geringer. That's actually a file, and that's the source on the web. Then there's a book here, a small liturgical dictionary, all the different forms that are used. So you can see there's quite a bit there. Why am I pointing this out to you? If you are a cleric, download copies. If you're faithful, member of the faithful, download copies and store it. If you're attending a mass, a Latin mass somewhere, and you don't know what liturgy the priest is using, ask him. And if he's SSPX, will always be using the 1962 liturgy. But if not, point out to that priest this website and the resources available to him. I hope I haven't forgotten anything.